Hello viewers. Welcome to Seek Wisdom. First of all, we would like to thank you for playing out this video. Today, we present you the summary of the book, The 48 Laws of Power, written by Robert Greene. Feeling powerless is a miserable experience. If given the choice, everyone would opt for more rather than less power. 48 Laws of Power details the laws for attaining power in life, business, and more by being subtle, cunning, and democratic yet devious. They are all grounded in the reality of human nature, and it's more important to understand them, and then choose how, when, and which to apply. Compiling all 48 laws in a single video was leading to a very long duration, so we are splitting 48 laws in 4 parts with 12 laws in each part. Let's start with Law 1 to 12 in this video. First law, never outshine the master. Make your masters appear more brilliant than they are, and you will attain the heights of power. In your desire to please and impress them, do not go too far in displaying your talents, or you might accomplish the opposite, inspire fear and insecurity. Those above you want to feel secure and superior in their positions. This may involve making a few harmless mistakes so that you can ask your master for help. When it comes to power, outshining the master is perhaps the worst mistake of all. Never take your position for granted, and never let any favors you receive go to your head. Second law, never put too much trust in friends, learn how to use enemies. You have more to fear from friends than from enemies. If you have no enemies, find a way to make them. A former enemy will be more loyal than a friend, because he has more to prove. Friends will betray you more quickly, for they are easily aroused to envy. Since honesty rarely strengthens friendship, you may never know how a friend truly feels. Friends will say that they love your poetry, adore your music, envy your taste in clothes. Maybe they mean it, often they do not. Friends often conceal things in order to avoid conflict. This can be dangerous. Keep friends for friendship, but work with the skilled and competent. Use enemies to define your cause more clearly to the public, even framing it as a struggle of good against evil. It is better off to know who and where your opponents are than to not know where your real enemies lie. Third law, conceal your intentions. Use decoyed objects and desires and red herrings to throw people off the scent. Hide your intentions not by closing up but by talking endlessly about your desires and goals, just not your real ones. You will kill 3 birds with 1 stone. You appear friendly, open, and trusting, you conceal your intentions, and you send your rivals on time-consuming wild goose chases. Use smoke screens to disguise your actions. This derives from a simple truth: people can only focus on one thing at a time. It is really too difficult for them to imagine that the bland and harmless person they're dealing with is simultaneously setting up something else. Guide them far enough down the wrong path, envelop them in enough smoke, and by the time they realize your intentions, it will be too late. Use humankind's tendency to trust appearances to your advantage. As Kierkegaard wrote, the world wants to be deceived. Fourth law, always say less than necessary. Persons who cannot control his words shows that he cannot control himself, and is unworthy of respect. Human tongue is a beast that few can master. It strains constantly to break out of its cage, and if it is not tamed, it will run wild and cause you grief. Power cannot accrue to those who squander their treasure of words. Powerful people impress and intimidate by saying less. By controlling what you reveal, you can wield great power. Power is in many ways a game of appearances, and when you say less than necessary, you inevitably appear greater and more powerful than you are. Learn the lesson: once the words are out, you cannot take them back. So, keep them under control. Be particularly careful with sarcasm. The momentary satisfaction you gain with your biting words will be outweighed by the price you pay. Generally, saying less makes you appear more profound and mysterious and makes others uncomfortable, so let them jump in and nervously fill the silence. Fifth law, so much depends on reputation, guard it with your life. Reputation is the cornerstone of power. Through reputation alone you can intimidate and win. Once it slips, however, you are vulnerable and will be attacked on all sides. Make your reputation impenetrable and predict attacks before they occur. Meanwhile, learn to destroy your enemies by opening holes in their own reputations. Then stand aside and let public opinion hang them. Doubt is a powerful weapon. Once you let it out of the bag with insidious rumors, your opponents are in a horrible dilemma. Once you have a solid base of respect, ridiculing your opponent both puts him on the defensive and draws more attention to you, enhancing your own reputation. A solid reputation can double your strength and distract potential opponents from discovering what you're really like. It increases your presence and your strengths without having to expend much energy. Here comes the sixth law: court attention at all costs. As everything is judged by appearance, you must stand out. Make yourself appear larger, more interesting, and more mysterious than the masses. One way to do this is to surround your name with sensation and scandal. Bear in mind that notoriety of any sort brings power. It's preferable to be slandered than to be ignored. A solid counterbalance to this approach is to create an air of mystery around yourself. Keep your cards close to your chest. People are drawn to those who seem enigmatic. An air of mystery increases your presence and creates anticipation. Everyone will be glued to your next move. Seventh law: get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. Never do for yourself what the efforts of others can do for you. Use their wisdom and knowledge to further your own cause. In doing so, you will appear intimidatingly efficient and knowledgeable. Ultimately, those who worked for you will be forgotten, and you will be remembered. If you think it's important that you do all the work yourself, you won't get far. Consequently, find those with the skills you lack, and find a way to either take their work as your own, or hire them and put your name on their efforts. Coming to eighth law: make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. For negotiations or meetings, it is always wise to lure others into your territory, or the territory of your choice. You have your bearings, while they see nothing familiar and are subtly placed on the defensive. When you force the other person to act, you are the one in control. The essence of power is keeping the initiative and forcing others to react, keeping them on the defensive. Master your anger, yet play on people's natural tendency to react angrily when pushed and baited. However, your traps are only as good as the perceived attractiveness of your bait. If your bait is sweet enough, your opponent will become blinded to reality by their emotions, allowing you to gain the upper hand. Here comes the ninth law: win through your actions, never through argument. Any momentary triumph you think you have gained through argument is short-lived. It will only fester resentment in your opponents instead of a genuine change of opinion. It is much more powerful to get others to agree with you through your actions, without saying a word. Doing this, you are more likely to sway lasting opinions. Action is where you demonstrate your beliefs. 10th law: infection. Avoid the unhappy or the unlucky. You can die from someone else's misery. Emotional states are as infectious as diseases. When you suspect you are in the presence of an infector, don't argue, don't try to help, don't pass the person on to your friends, or you will become enmeshed. Flee the infector's presence or suffer the consequences. Who you decide to associate with is critical. Through associating with the miserable, you waste your valuable time and drain your potential power. Associate with the happy and fortunate instead. Now comes 11th law: learn to keep people dependent on you. To maintain your independence, you must always be needed and wanted. The more you are relied on, the more freedom you have. Make people depend on you for their happiness and prosperity, and you have nothing to fear. Yet, be wary to never teach those surrounding you with enough information that they can start doing things for themselves. 12th law: use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. One sincere and honest move will cover over dozens of dishonest ones. Open-hearted gestures of honesty and generosity bring down the guard of even the most suspicious people. Once your selective honesty opens a hole in their armor, you can deceive and manipulate them at will. The key to successful deception is distraction. An act of generosity distracts those you wish to deceive while turning them into docile children, delighted by the affectionate gesture. Learning to give before you take is a skilled way of getting what you want. Selective honesty also functions as a means to disarm your opponents. However, regaling a single truth will not be enough. You'll have to construct a facade of honesty built upon a series of acts to gain trust, but these acts can be quite inconsequential. Here finishes 12 laws. We hope you like it. We shall be back soon with other parts. Till then, Be safe, be happy.